Welcome back everybody to the GG League quarterfinals between Uebelst Gaming and Turtle Masters. This is gonna be game number 2 after an exciting game number 1, which actually went 56 minutes long into the game. And we are just so happy to cast this, having cast the game number 1, and of course covering GG League overall. We are Heflatv, my name is Coucher, and joining me again will be Roxas.
How's it going, man? That game was pretty intense. What you gotta say? But Uebelst, they do secure first pick this time. They do ban out the Tide Hunter. Last game they secured Faceless Void and Tide Hunter right away. So I'll be interested to see if they want to first pick that Faceless Void again. I think that they would probably benefit pretty well from that, as I think that was the biggest part of what kept them in the game for as long as it did. It was the last game, Turtle Masters. I believe they banned Batrider, Doom, and then picked up they picked up Invoker right away. But this time they'll ban out Batrider and the Dire Side Lycan, which leaves Doom in the pool. So Uebelst will pick that up right away. We'll see what Turtle Masters go for if they want to secure that Invoker once again. What was their other pick? I believe they picked up... Do you remember what the Turtle Masters picked up in the last game in the second pick?
Oh, I think Invoker Shadow Demon, I think.
Yeah, it was Invoker Shadow Demon, that's right. So the Shadow Demon, of course, was a bit of a response to the Faceless Void, as that's one of the best heroes against it, but they do pick up Invoker again. I don't think they need to get the Shadow Demon right away, and instead they go for your Bottom of the Moon. I was going to say Priestess of the Moon, but that's copyrighted.
Well, can you copyright written words? Or not written, well, like verbal?
No, I mean, I can say Windrunner, Priestess of the Moon, Kale, Skeleton King, Scourge, Sentinel. I can say that all I want. It can't be on the product, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So, we can call it whatever we want, but Uebelst, they get their hands on the Faceless Void once again. And actually, I think the Void is pretty nice against Mirana, because even with the Moonlight Shadows, if you get the Chronosphere on them, you still have vision.
Yeah. Well, the other thing is, Faceless Void is just really, really good in general, so... Well, in that last game, they do secure to ban out a Shadow Demon, so he doesn't have to deal with that, and they also ban out the Wraith King. So two heroes that both pair very well with the Mirana and are very good against the Faceless Void. So Turtle Masters, they ban out the Ancient Apparition. The global presence with Faceless Void makes it really, really annoying to deal with. Whereas AA has kind of fallen off a bit. It used to be kind of always first phase support. And now he's a little bit more situational, still very difficult, especially if you get a Doom and an Ice Blast on you. You just... Do you like being alive? Well, then it sucks to be you. So, especially because Invoker and Mirana, two heroes that don't typically build very tanky as well. They do get pretty tanky later in the game because they build some items such as Manta Style, Lincoln Sphere, that give them a lot of stats, but still would be really annoying to deal with that. As far as their other ban, they probably would want to ban another support. They could ban a Witch Doctor if they were fearing that. I think that Dire Side Templar Assassin is always very good, not to mention the fact that she lanes incredibly well against Invoker. Puck can work pretty well because they maybe don't want a third carry for their mid lane. But the options are certainly pretty open here for Turtle Masters. And they banned the Shadow Shaman, so thinking that gave them a lot of problems in the last game, they're going to make sure that Uebelst doesn't get it this game.
Yeah, both teams banning out a couple of heroes that they just don't want to face, that gave each other a lot of slack in the previous game. And now Turtle Masters, well, they don't have the Shadow Demon, but I guess a Bane wouldn't be that bad of a pickup if they want
They
to
can go
just
for the
combo it
Centaur.
up. Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, Centaur's still in the pool. It also gives another Doom target, but they go ahead and secure a Bane. So that's also really important as well, because Bane, not to mention just having the obvious synergy with Mirana, is just having the disable that goes through BKB when you have an Invoker on the field. It's really smart to pick that up, because if you're against Invoker, you have to get BKB. Otherwise, late in the game, like we saw it happen with the Void with a 4-second BKB, you just died all that magical burst. So they do secure up that Bane, so they have some pretty good tri-lane potential, especially if they go for something like a Lina or a Visage or a Leshrac, but outside of that, Uebelst, they pick up a twin-headed dragon to pair with that Faceless Void, such as we were speculating in that last game.
Yeah, I mean, the macro fire into the Chronosphere, the potential of the damage output, it's kind of limitless almost. As well as having the Ice Path for a long-range stun, maybe to stop the Fiend's Grip for one already. Definitely not a bad choice.
And the Liquid Fire to push against the towers, like they...
Plus go for Roshan as well.
Yeah, absolutely. They know that they don't have the Shadow Shaman, so they're securing some pretty good physical damage, and not a whole lot against towers, and the Jakiro kind of makes up for that a little bit. So both of them going for some very well-rounded drafts, and now Razor gets picked up. So this kind of leads me to think that there is going to be an aggressive tri-lane with the Mirana Bane +1. But Razor, very, very good against Faceless Void, and this is another hero that has the disables that go through BKB. As long as you aren't in the Chronosphere, you can get the Static Link off as well as get the Eye of the Storm. And even if you get both of those abilities off before your Chrono, they're still going to be going through. So Faceless Void is going to have no damage. Not to mention he's going to be taking a crap load of damage from Eye of the Storm. And Ag's Refresher Razor gives you a lot of push later on in the game. Not to mention making it really difficult for anyone that has their BKB wear out, as well as the supports, making it hard for them to get in close. So Razor, very smart pickup here.
Yeah, I really love that pickup here, especially since it's pretty nice against Doom. Even if you have the Eye of the Storm activated and the Static Link already previously, even if you get doomed, you just don't care at all because you're going to be able to do just as much as without being doomed.
I mean, you're taking a bit of damage, but whatever.
Yeah.
So Skywrath Mage is picked up, though. So this is another combo we see with Faceless Void. And especially when you have so much magic damage, the Ancient Seal Amplify is really good. So I really like that pickup coming up. It kind of sucks because he has all that single target. All the single target makes it really hard for him to do anything against Razor. But still pretty nice, a good support. As far as the last ban here, though, for Turtle Masters, I really do think that there's a tempo controller. Puck seems like the most obvious ban to me. Because that's an initiator that works really well in the mid lane against Invoker, is going to win the lane. The team fight control works out, but they actually decide to ban a Tinker, which I wouldn't have been too scared of, because Turtle Masters, I think, has a very, very aggressive lineup as far as the lanes are concerned, and if a Tinker were to come up from Uebelst, well, then you just dominate the laning phase and then just go win the game, right?
Well, the theory behind it is solid. But I guess execution-wise, I think Turtle Masters, they were already hoping like last game to just completely dominate it from the early game and take it from there, which didn't happen, so maybe they're a little bit more cautious about the fact. And if they didn't win the early game, just a Tinker on top of a Chronosphere, he can easily rearm multiple layers of March of the Machines, rockets flying. It could have been scary. I have to agree that Turtle Masters would have been having the better laning stage there and maybe just delay the Boots of Travels or any items for Uebelst for that.
Yeah, because then you have three cores that need a lot of farm, so oh well. As far as this last pick, I think I think that Lina is the one that really sticks out to me. Just being able to pair with Bane, like Bane and Lina both together are a very powerful support roaming combo. It has a lot of burst in the laning phase, and not to mention Laguna Blade does go through BKB now. And that's a lot of damage against these very squishy supports, which I think is going to be pretty important. But Lina never gets picked up because she's underrated.
I have no idea why, though. No clue.
I don't know. People just are sexist or something. I don't know, man.
Well, they go for a
Okay,
Viper,
it's a support
so
Mirana.
support Mirana? Yeah.
I hate support Mirana, man.
I mean, at least
it
he
so
has the
much.
setup of the Bane, so it makes them a really strong roaming duo. As well as, I guess Viper isn't too bad against Doom either. But it's just, I mean, with this, do you think it's rather gonna be the Razor mid or the Viper mid with the other one taking to the position in the aggressive tri lane? Or never mind, I mean safe lane, I guess, with Invoker mid.
I don't know, man. All three of those cores can kind of go anywhere. I think what Turtle Masters maybe wants to do is try to take a level 1 fight and then just kind of see the lanes and figure it out from there, try to get matchups that are favorable for them. Things such as getting the Viper against the Doom, or against the Faceless Void, getting the Razor against the Doom, and then getting the Mirana against whoever this last core is. Speaking of this last core, they really need some team fight, man, because the Void is going to be great later on, but until they have setup, like Jakira's not the most reliable, Skywrath Mage is not the most reliable for setup as well, and that's mostly single target disable. Like Jakira actually usually needs help. I think a Darkseer could work out pretty well. Even if he just goes in the mid lane or the off lane, maybe put the Doom mid, but like, if they have a good Puck player, that just seems like the best pick to me.
Yeah, actually, funnily enough, I haven't seen as much Puck recently. Although I have to agree that the hero is ridiculously good. It combos up nicely with the Skywrath Mage as well, I think. Just dream coiling people into the Mystic Flare, for example. As well as just buying time for the Faceless Void to get that better position Chronosphere, maybe. And of course, the silence, always so nice to get the jump. And Uebelst, so far, they actually do lack the initiation, kind of.
I'm wondering if they were looking to pick up the TA, because as soon as the Viper pick came out, they were really, really hesitant, whereas the last ban was really fast. I mean, I would not have agreed with the TA, but still, I'm out of ideas, man.
Oh, looks like so is Uebelst, because so far...
I mean, at this point, I'm done talking. I'm just gonna wait the 15 seconds, see what they pick, and then be like, "Oh yes, I knew that was gonna happen."
Oh wow, with 5 seconds left. I mean, to be honest, Turtle Masters, wow, they go for a
Okay,
Venomancer.
So this is a core Veno. We've been seeing Veno more as a core than as a support lately. And I think that certainly has its merits. He does so much magical damage with the Veil and Ags. It's actually funny, at a certain level, if you just Veil and Ags someone in the fountain, they can't survive. It's just so much DPS. Not to mention everyone's pretty squishy. But this should be... I mean, you have a lot of heroes here that really do want to build a BKB. And yes, it is a pain in the ass against whoever is laning against the Venomancer, but still, if it's like Invoker, he can do just fine. Mirana might have the most trouble. I think that Corrosive Skin doesn't work against Plague Wards, which is nice, but still, it's an interesting pick, I would say. I think that there are some better picks, but, you know, I'm not the captain. We'll have to see how it plays out. So, we're getting into game 2 right away.
Yeah, just to go over the lamps fast once again, for those who didn't actually see game number 1, for Turtle, Rocksnack will be playing the Invoker, leaving Smalgalik to play the support Mirana with Skyzo on the Viper, and actually another 2-1-2 lane, maybe, or never mind, it's gonna be aggressive tri lane after all, as Miracle playing the Bane and Giftig up on the Razor.
Yep, and on the side of Uebelst, they do need to win 2 games in a row to secure this series. We'll see if they can do it. Starting with Gasha going mid as your Venomancer. It will be once again Sky on the Void of No Face. AV going to be playing on your twin-headed dragon. Doom going to be played in the safe lane by Patrico. And on your support Skywrath Mage will be played by EDE. And they are setting up for the classic wait by the side shop gank.
Yeah, I mean, should be an easy kill. Viper level 1 doesn't do all that much to you anyway.
He's so squishy, too. He has 568 HP, and he has 4 armor because he got a Ring of Protection, but Viper not going to be the hardest to bring down.
And actually, do you think that Uebelst was maybe expecting the Razor to go mid of all heroes? Because Venomancer is really good against Razor because you can easily just spam the Plague Wards and stay out of the static link range.
I mean, Venomancer is actually good mid against a surprising amount of heroes, and I think he would have been good against almost everyone except Invoker. But he's still decent against Invoker. The only reason he's not as good is just because the Forge Spirit can help take out the Plague Wards. But I think it's fine regardless. I guess they also figured they kind of have a 2/3 chance of it not being Invoker. So they're just willing to go with that. And even if it was, like, worst case scenario, so what? So we'll see.
I mean, Exort Invokers, they won't have the Ghost Walk for the longest time, probably.
Nightmare up on the top lane as well. Arrow going to be flying as well. It's only about a 2.5 second arrow. Right clicks are there as well. Static Link going to be drained, and he's going to eat this creep. But he's totally dead.
Oh man, such a nice first blood. And oh, Giftig gets the last hit for it as well, so even bigger there. And now, you just look at
the
Viper.
Atmosphere is electric.
Oh, will Viper take the bait though? I mean, he has to know that the supports are around somewhere. And since they weren't top lane obviously, so I think Skyzo actually, nice game sense by him, just not gonna put himself in harm's way.
They also have an Observer Ward up at the top lane, so he knows
the courier might get sniped! They've smoked Small Garlic Miracle, they get the courier kill! Oh, what a start for Turtle.
What, did he just bring himself Tangos? Gasha brought himself Tangos, even though he had full Tangos, but... What I was mentioning though was that Skyzo, they have a Radiant Ward up in the top lane, they know that the rune was bottom, so Skyzo just, he knew that if they were missing, they had the rune bottom, so that's why that's also that good game sense on him. Plus they have the ward over by the pool camp, so currently, even though Skyzo's not getting much, he's going to be able to pull for himself, he's already level 2, and at the very least, even if the supports aren't getting a whole lot done, they're soaking some experience. They've almost at level 2, and you're getting a free farm Void. So
It's definitely not bad in the Void. He needs to do so much, but oh, there's another
Nightmare
Nightmare
on
Arrow to
Petrico.
follow. Will there be Sunstrike? Yes, there will, and actually Petrico probably gonna fall down. A few more right clicks, that's what they need. The Ice Breath actually buys some time from the Jakiro, and Petrico healing himself back up. And now the Dual Breath onto 2 heroes as well.
That moment when you're awkwardly in their jungle at 2 minutes. You have no mana.
Oh man.
They're both level 1 though, so no Brain Sap, otherwise that kill would have been totally secured. And this roaming Bane Mirana combo, we see it work really, really well in most Chinese games, as well as we saw it work really well in the international, or sorry, not international, ESL 1. So good stuff coming out. And this Doom, who's trying to just come back in jungle, he can't. This is just kind of, well,
Oh, actually,
Venomancer's coming in. Gale's going to be there as well as the Dual Blast, so he's slowed to 100 move speed. Venomancer able to secure that kill at the last hit. Gasha is going to be trying to go after Smogolig. He's not level 2 just yet. He buys his boots. He knows he's going to die.
1 XP short of level 2, are you kidding me?
That's pretty good, but he's wasting so much of their time. In the meantime, Razor is just free farming. And Viper, he's being gone on in the mid lane, or in the bottom lane. There was just the slows from the concussive shot, as well as the arcane bolt. One more right click and be able to secure him off. And Venomancer does finally kill the bottom.
Oh my god!
Scarlet Mage died? So
Yeah.
did he get Sunstrike?
Yeah, the Sunstrike hit, and actually he survived the Sunstrike, but the last tower hit was chasing him. Oh wow.
Good
This
stuff, man. This early game, despite the kills being 3-2, I still think it's going better here for Turtle.
this to be honest, when Bane as well as Mirana went on the Doom the last time, they shot the arrow before the Nightmare came out, so they got a little bit impatient. Smalgalik tried to go for just a skill arrow himself, and they just put themselves in a bad position. Although, like you mentioned during the chase as well, that they wasted a lot of time of Uebelst. I mean, sure, Viper died, but at least Skyroth Mage died in return, and Viper's actually about to hit level 5 4 minutes in. So he's not doing bad at all, and Sky... does he
Not
have
bad,
his
dot JPEG. Pretty good stuff. And Venomancer, he's got his Dream of Cool, he's got his boots as well. He's 2-0 right now. Against Invoker, though, who has not too many more last hits as well. So Gasha doing pretty well in the mid lane here. But the big story is just how hard Doom's getting shut down. He's only level 3. He doesn't have boots. He's getting shut down really hard. Oh, by the way, bottom lane. Looks like they were able to secure a kill on the Viper, but Nightmare is going to be on the AV. He's going to get Sunstruck, arrowed as well. Right clicks are going to be there. Bane hits so hard at these levels. And Sky, he has to salve up a bit. He only has a time lock, some dashes. He's going for that aggressive build of getting more points in the time lock, but... This is the other thing, too, about the Viper going down is now Bane and Mirana get some levels.
Actually, Rocksnock might go down, never mind. This TP nicely coming in from Sky, so is he gonna go for the counter? No, he's not. No Viper Strike. But without the TP, Gasha probably would have just completely died with the Invoker there.
Yeah, absolutely. Skyzo's coming in at... It's a little awkward now, because maybe Voxtrack's like, hey, you want to quit farming my lane, man?
Oh, bottom lane, Small Gully going for ED as well. He's actually completely out of mana. Leap on cooldown already. Miracle coming in as well. He doesn't have enough for a Nightmare. There's one time lock. Will there be another one? No. Sky, actually, Miracle, he runs back into it. Why are you doing this, Miracle? Run! Run for your dear life, Sky! Time lock, not gonna happen. Time walk, though. The last right click. The Tango, keeping him alive under the tower. Arrow.
Oh
wow.
My gosh, that was so greedy there from Sky.
Yeah, and actually Viper killed ED as well. Just making the rotations coming from mid lane to bottom. So, 5-4, 5.5 minutes in. That's a crap ton of action.
This laning phase has just been awkward, man. That's the only word I can think of to describe it. Just everyone is everywhere. It's musical lanes. The only one that's really been doing nothing has just been Razor. He's just been sitting free farm. He's got his treads, Basilius. We'll see if he goes for the mech for his team. It looks like Viper. Does he pick up? He picks up a belt of strength. So he could still be going for the mech. Normally we see Razors go for... no, he's going to go for the drums. Okay, so I would have liked the drums more on the Razor and getting mech on the Viper. So it looks like they'll be going for that. And he'll probably go for that Agnum Scepter right afterwards.
Yeah, and he's actually finished up his Aquila as well. Has a Wraith Band ready for it. So just going
Aquila's
for the...
one of the best items ever, man.
Yeah, I mean, drums and Aquila, you can't go wrong with those.
I mean, unless you're playing, like... Oh, I can't really think of too many heroes.
Yeah,
I mean, I guess...
Okay, intelligence heroes, maybe you don't build
Intelligence
Aquila.
heroes I'm thinking of, yeah.
I mean, but drums are
Aquila's
always
even-
good.
Aquila's even okay for strength heroes just because you have such low agility that your armor just sucks. You know? But still. Anyway, enough philosophical discussion of items. If we're looking at the net worth, just Razor, who's been free farming, is actually way ahead. Normally, you don't want to look at net worth this time. Just last hits works pretty well, but Razor can be a force to be reckoned with if he gets this amount of farm early, and the space being created from this roaming Bane Marana as well as the Sunstrikes have been working out really well. Speaking of Voxrak, he has finished up his hand of money, so he's going to start making a dent on the net worth chart.
Yeah,
and
actually,
Faceless Void, he's very far from his Midas.
at least Kasha is putting a huge amount of pressure on the tier 1 mid lane, as well as going for a hand of Midas himself, which is actually, I guess, quite a common item for carry Venomancers.
Yeah, he has no real farming utility besides just Plague Wards. And this is the other, like, just theoretically speaking, Midas is good on heroes that don't need a whole lot of items because they can afford to get a late Midas. It's kind of the same way with Enchantress, but like with items they do really well, right? So if Venomancer's ahead in item, like that's great, but even if he doesn't have a whole lot of items, that's great too. So even if you go for something like a late hand of Midas, it's going to work out just well. And I bring up Enchantress just for the reason that pretty commonly we'll see, usually like Tron when he plays Enchantress, he'll just go for his like boots earn and goes around, gets a lot of kills, and gets a Midas at like 15, 16 minutes. But it doesn't matter because he's still effective while he has that 2k gold in the bank before he gets his hand of Midas. So.
Oh, I think we're gonna see a dead Skydrift Mage Miracle. Can he actually get in range? No Skydrift has boots as well. No, the silence comes
the Ancient Seal right away. He's taking tower aggro as well. So spotted out by this Dire Observer Ward, paying dividends. And Uebelst, we saw just in the last game how well they work with their wards, and certainly not being any exception this game.
Oh.
Bane, he comes in. There's going to be the Nightmare right away. Can he secure the deny on the tower? Interesting Sunstrike throw, but Venomancer does secure the last hit. He's got the Gale as well. The Plague Ward's doing so much damage to Miracle as well. And Arrow comes through. It's going to be completely whiffed though. Gasha, he should go down, but he's still secured a kill. Is he going to get a double kill? Are you kidding me? He gets a double kill before he goes down. At the very least,
Man,
Both is able to secure
outplayed.
that 531 gold. But Plague Ward's doing absolute work there.
He got the tower, he got 2 kills before dying, and the biggest thing there was that once he got Nightmare, he immediately used the Plague Ward to actually get rid of that Nightmare. I mean, so well played.
Oh,
As well as
top lane,
just
either
juking
Storm
it.
is used. Doom is committed though afterwards. It's only a level 1 Doom, so it's going to do almost nothing. Razor, he's just turning and right-clicking. He has drums, he doesn't care. And the Scorched Earth is popped from Patrico. He jukes around in the trees, but Jakiro comes in. He has a double damage. There was a Sunstrike put somewhere on the map, I'm not sure where. But Dual Breath is there as well. Does Razor have a TP? No, you have to... he doesn't have the mana for it. But he just lives. He pops a drum charge as well. The Doom is off. Cold Snap is there as well. And the Eye of the Storm going to be able to secure that kill with that one last pulse. And Sky has to back off as well.
I mean, so within a span of like 1 minute or so, we saw one team going for a so-called gank, failing, giving away a couple of kills, and now the other team did the exact same, more or less.
Well, Doom is also just like, it's kind of like Exorcism, where you see like level 16, and you have that ability maxed out, and you're like, man, this spell is just bullshit, right? But at level 1, it's pretty garbage, so... At the very least, the pushing power certainly goes to Turtle, or goes to Uebelst with the Venomancer, who's moved down bottom lane. But still, they have
Well, he
pretty
has to
good
be
heroes
careful,
against these
because
Plague
if he gets Viper struck, he's probably going to go down, and actually Skyzo is the one building the mech for his team. Like you predicted as well, at least coming in from Razor's item build.
Yeah, absolutely. Gasha's actually gotten a medallion as well, so he's going to be going for early Roche, but he's been Viper struck. Sunstrike is going to be off the mark, as well as the Ice Path. Skyzo taking a lot of damage from these Plague Wards, and he's slowed to 200 move speed just from the Gale, as well as the concussive shot. And 4 heroes pretty awkwardly posturing here as the Faceless Void is just farming. But everyone's down under the safety of their own tower. They have a catapult there as well. Small Gigi's there. He pings out the Doom, so he knows that Doom is there, and Doom is back up.
But oh,
So
Giftig, he's going to find a haste rune for himself.
Oh, this is so big for a Razor. This is going to be a good fight, and he's going to be able to keep up Patrico. Is he going to be spotted here? Just barely dodges. Now he's spotted by the Radiant Observer Ward. He's going to be going back for him. No, he's not. Everyone just awkwardly backs away.
Well, look at the graphs. 11 minutes in, 3,500 for both XP as well as gold for Turtle. So they're looking extremely good. Actually, top lane, Roxnak took care of the tier 1 tower as well. So he has Hand of Midas, Face Boots, and another 2,000 gold already. Arcane Boots Finish for the Bane as well, although he's not quite level 6 yet. After this creep wave probably will be though. So they will have the Fiend's Grip. The mech is only a recipe away for Skyzo, as they're gonna go for another tier 1.
This is so smart too, it's a simple thing, but you get heroes that pick up, one gets a Ring of Basilius and one gets a Ring of Aquila, and you just have so much of a buff whenever you go to push towers like this. It's pretty absurd for what you get for just 150 gold split between two heroes. Like, just look at one creep and look how much buff it has. It's got drums, Aquila, Basilius, and it had a buff charge. If Gasha gets Fiend's Gripped up, the damage link is stolen, and he's able to get that right away. That's just the Venomancer, though. They get a tier 1 tower, get a Venomancer. Not bad. Not bad, but could be better, could be worse.
Yeah, I think Uebelst probably is gonna aim for Roshan next, especially since Venomancer has that Medallion of Courage. Just Plague Wards, Medallion, can even do it solo potentially if really necessary. Maybe Liquid Fire to help out.
If you want to take like 20 years, but yeah, you can do it.
Actually, what do you think of Jakiro's skill build? He's maxed up Dual Breath instead of Liquid Fire.
I think that's totally fine. As far as like Liquid Fire is great when you're a little bit of an advantageous position. You can poke at towers right away. By the way, mid lane, Patrico, he's gonna get Cold Snap down. He's actually gonna right click. Sunstrike was there just to cut off his path, but Gasha comes in, spams some Plague Wards. He's gonna be fine.
That was funny as all hell. I mean, the Doom ran towards the Invoker, feeling really confident, and suddenly Invoker is like Forge Spirits, Cold Snap, and Doom was the one on the run.
It's pretty good, especially when you don't put any points in Wex.
Yeah, I mean, Doom has only one base armor as well, so just getting the minus armor from the Forge Spirits helps out so much. And Turtle, well, they're looking so good. Mech finish.
Oh, arrow hits on Sky, who is TPing in. He's almost down to half health. Viper Strike. Oh, but Mystic Flare gonna be missed. Arcane Seal is there on the Invoker. Eye of the Storm is used, but Doom is committed. Medallion is there as well. He can get denied. Are they going to be able to deny him? Doom, he got brain snapped, and Mirana is able to get the deny on the Razor. Now she leads forward. Arrow going to be able to secure the kill on the Doom. Gasha is going after Mirana now as well. Pops Medallion, because the Fiend's Grip is there from the high ground. 80 is going to be able to get the dual breath on him. He's trying to get there, but no, Skies is able to secure the kill, and the mech brings them all back above half health. Brilliant fight there from Turtle.
I mean, all I can say is, at least Sky didn't die on the Faceless Void. That's like the only positive. And actually, I mean, killing off Razor, well, he got denied, so more or less the only kill they got was the Invoker.
And Razor is going straight for that BKB to make sure that he doesn't get silenced. Almost all the damage they have is just magic damage coming out from Veno, Jakiro, and the Skywrath Mage. So the BKB, really smart. Even if he gets doomed, it's a whatever thing. Even if he gets chronoed, it's a whatever thing. So we're seeing Razor picked more and more these days just because he works so well against Void and Doom. Speaking of Void, comes in, gets the Chrono on the one, Mystic Flare is there as well, the Defensive Nightmare is there, Ancient Seal comes in, but Skies has just been in one place forever, pops his mech after coming out from the Ice Path, and he's going to go down. Moonlight Shadow is going to be used defensively, but his Sentry Ward is dropped down, and the tower does get denied by Gasha.
It was a really nice defensive nightmare there, but just not enough because Uebelst, they were there in full force with 5 heroes. Now they're gonna go for Roche. I'm not too sure if it's the best idea, but then again, with no Viper, no mech for Turtle, I guess it's as good a chance as any.
With no X on Invoker, they have just absolutely no team fight. That's what I hate about Roxanne's build. I mean, I'm not as good as him, so I can't really speak too much, but I think having that extra team fight, this is 1 point in Wex, it's really good. The Arrow comes in, scouts it out, Void is able to finish off Roche. Ice Path is only going to be hitting on Smolgig as well. And Giptig, he pops the Eye of the Storm. Sunstrike is going to be there, going to be able to land on the Doombringer. Gasha comes in, he fights from the high ground. Bane, he Fiend's Grips up, but immediately dies to the DOT from the Macropyre as well as the Plague Lords. So ultimately a 1-for-1 and securing the Roche, and Void gets out with a little bit of health. Viper comes up from the high ground, uses the mechanism. Do they re-engage here? No, they don't.
It was so crazy miracle. He just completely ran to his death. You don't want to go up the bottleneck, that is the little stairs near the Roche pit, against a Macropyre, as well as a dual breath plus a Venom ultimate. When he tried to go for the Fiend's Grip, but just died immediately. But still not that bad, considering they got the Doom at least, although Roshan went for the favor of Uebelst. Now Sky having 2 lives, but still, I mean, the damage output of the Faceless Void, it's almost 0 at the moment. At least he has a Maelstrom now, or well, actually Mithril Hammer, so still needs recipe.
Yeah, well, he has that Midas, so he'll be able to farm up pretty easily. And I think that Uebelst does have a pretty good lineup for turtling, just because they, by the nature of Jakiro and Venomancer just by themselves, It's really good to set up just outside of tower, just lots of plague wards, as well as having the spammable long AoE abilities that the Twin-Headed Dragon offers. Speaking of which, you might have to use him as there's a smoke. They're going to see him immediately as the stairs, but a slow reaction. There's the Ice Path as well, but the Nightmare is coming in, as well as the Arrow, as well as the Sunstrike, as well as the Brain Sap, going to be able to secure the kill. Sky, he comes in. He's going to be using the Chronosphere, and there's a Mystic Flare, going to be able to secure Miracle. And Bottom's able to leap away. So ultimately, support for a support.
I mean,
I don't know. I guess it's just even.
yeah, more or less, I have to say so. At least Turtle, they're trying to apply some pressure on the bottom lane, but the Plague Wards, they're just so annoying to push into. And, well, do you actually think that the Mirana might be looking for a Hand of Midas, just to transition into kind of a semi-carry at some point?
I think it couldn't really be punished. But in general, as far as the supports gone carry sort of things that we see from heroes like Alchemist, Mirana, Naga, Siren, Kunkka even, that we kind of see run as support. Usually I'm not the biggest fan, but once again, if you're just working with not very many items anyway, sure, go ahead and go for it. So I wouldn't be the biggest fan, but I wouldn't be surprised if he goes ahead and goes for it. And if he does, he only needs just one more kill to get it. Speaking of which, there's a Nightmare going to be on the Doom right away. Arrow's going to be following up, doesn't go through the catapult, but Fiend's Grip is there to just overlap, just for show, I guess. And Smolgig, now he has the 2k gold. If he wants to buy that Hand of Midas, he can. Brain Sap onto Jakiro. AB's doing a lot of damage over time. And Bane Nightmares him. He should have, maybe could have Nightmared himself to deny himself. Starstorm is going to be there. And AB's going to be able to secure that kill. Invoker actually gets it with a right click. Mystic Flare going to be completely airballed. So very successful gank for them. And now Smolgig sitting at 2,400 gold. And he spots the Venomancer up here. But he's going to get Galed, and he's able to leap away. Fires the arrow. Gonna go fishing and miss. But so the pressure being applied by Turtle is really making Uebelst just feel on the back foot. And yeah, there you called it. She goes for that Hand of Midas.
It's just that I couldn't have seen anything that would have been more useful. They already have a mech on their team anyway. I mean, yes, a pipe at some point definitely would be good, but I mean, Mirana with a pipe, it's like, meh.
Yeah, Mirana with a pipe is pretty bad, but it's good. If you can run a 4-core lineup, then by all means, you're going to be more powerful with it. And especially getting these cores that build these utility items that the supports usually build, that's what really enables your normal carry heroes to play support. So that's why we see the Chinese players prioritize heroes like Doom or Razor or Viper, heroes that can build these utility items. Even Darkseer, even though he's not really picked up that much, it's prioritized for that reason too. So allows him to do that, and later on in the game, Mirana, she'll have a lot of items and turn into an appreciable carry.
Yeah, and actually, Uebelst, although Turtle are the ones applying pressure mostly, the Venomancer as well as the Void, thanks to their Hand of Midas, have been farming reasonably well. They're actually number 2 and number 3 as far as net worth goes. And Kasha, he's level 13, of course Hand of Midas helps out with the levels greatly. And he's more than halfway through his Aghanim Scepter as well. So before the pipe, before the PKB start coming off for Turtle, that's just a lot of damage, but then again, it's damage over time, so you have to actually try to survive the team fight until that point.
Yeah, once they have a pipe that'll come up, probably the pipe will come up on the Viper as soon as he's done with his Aghanim Scepter. But as soon as that comes up, the effectiveness is certainly going to wane. Arrow's going to hit on Patrico and Viper Strike on the AV. I don't think they look to engage here, especially since the Necronomicon units died to the tower. And in the meantime, Sky, he gets pretty low, but he takes the tower down in the top lane. Is he going to get Sunstruck? If I were Vroxnak, I would try to Sunstrike Sky right now, because he dies to it, unless he backtracks it.
Yeah, it definitely would be nice just getting rid of the Aegis. Oh, actually Venom Scale, off target by Kasha. Now Patrico slowed down. But of course, 5%.
In. He wants to fight, time walk in, Chrono right away, but the Eye of the Storm's already there. He's going to die to it. He dies to Eye of the Storm. Doom is on the Viper, and that's just the Aegis right now. But Patrico, he gets arrowed from long distance from the Mirana, and he's going to go down to the Starstorm. Veno, he pops his ultimate, but then there's the Bane, who denies Razor with the defensive Nightmare of the plays. Then he gets the Fiend's Grip on Sky while he had his Mask of Madness on. Down to 1 HP, 2 HP, ticks down to the negative Urn charge, and the Met comes up from Viper. That's a team wipe for Turtle. The plays from Miracle. The plays from this Bane.
I mean,
Out of this world.
MVP for
MVP
sure at the
of
moment.
that fight, at least.
Overall, throughout the game, he's had such nice nightmares. Mostly pretty nice beam scripts as well. And now they're gonna get the tier 2 on top of that. Of course, there was an Aegis on Faceless Void.
He's doing all this with no mobility items as well. Okay, now he about to blink.
Oh, things are gonna get better. Arrow catches Petrico. Can they get the kill? They have the brain set for some burst. Never mind. They're not gonna go for it, but the silence comes out. The Mystic Flare as well. A little bit off target. Miracle still alive, and Petrico just falls in return.
Yep, and Smolgig, he wants a little bit more. This leaps forward, going on to EDE, but AD is there with the Ghoul Breath as well as the iPath going to patch him. They're going to commit Macropyre as well, but the defensive Nightmare onto Smolgig, he actually then wakes him up. Venomancer in the meantime finishes. There's a Sunstrike. Off the mark. Sky, he's coming in. He doesn't have Chrono. And Smolgig going to be able to TP out. Dash!
Oh. Well, I mean, still looking at net worth, Venomancer and Faceless Void not looking bad. But just losing the map control, losing the tier 2, it's pretty damn painful. As well, of course, Turtle just getting so much gold from the kills, and that's Aghanim Scepter finished almost for Giftig. Actually, only 880 gold away from it. Viper finished his own. So if he wants to go for the pipe next, he definitely can do so, and I would really love to see one.
Yeah, absolutely. I think a pipe is definitely necessary against that team, or against the team that Uebelst has, especially now that Venomancer has that Aghanim Scepter. So the damage coming out from him is just absolutely absurd, especially since he's level 15 right away. Or he's already level 15, so he's going to hit level 16 pretty soon here. And that's going to be a lot, especially once he has his Veil of Discord. But now, looks like they want to posture in to the tier 2 tower, just being systematic about it. Just like they were in the last game, which led to their early 2 racks advantage.
Wow, they used the Macropyre here as well, so that's not going to be in use with the Chronosphere. Neclo level 3 pop, that's the tower for Skyzo, and I mean, Uebelst, they just gave away a tower and got nothing in return.
Yeah, and that's also an Aghanim Scepter for Razor, so really, really big there. Helps their push, also really, really helps their damage. And Aghanim Scepter Razor is nothing to shake a stick at, man. That shit hurts.
Yeah, and not only does it hurt heroes, you can also go for buildings with that. So just that little bit extra as far as pushing is concerned. I mean, looking at the graphs now, I don't think we've looked at them for quite some time, and 8,000 gold lead for Turtle, XP 10,000 at the moment, flatlining out, but still a really sizable lead 24 minutes into the game. But Uebelst, I mean, they still have a lot of team fights.
He has a point in Lex.
Hell yeah!
Hell yeah! I think it's just because he has to, because he can't get another point in Invoke until he's level 17. Oh man. I mean, they're winning the game, so I can't really do too much. It looks like he will be going for that Scythe of Vice, because he's got the 2,300 gold. Probably going to pick up that Ultimate Orb pretty soon. I don't see exactly what else he goes for, unless he goes for a Blink Dagger. I'm usually a big fan of Blink Force on an Exort Invoker. Just getting in range for that combo, it's so powerful, as well as the Alacrity on yourself. Alacrity is, I think, the most neglected spell of an Exort Invoker. It actually gives you 80 damage. 80 damage. To compare that, that's almost a Monkey King Bar's worth of damage just for free. So, not to mention the bonus attack speed. So, getting in position to get all those spells off can do so much for you in team fights. But the Hex is obviously one of the best items in the game anyway. So, we'll see. This last tier 3 tower, though, there's a Nightmare as well, off the Blink Dagger. There's a Sunstrike as well as the Arrow. And AV, he's going to go down right away to all of that burst. Well, 5 heroes against 1, that's not exactly fair. His team just wants to go push a tier 1 tower instead, I guess. But that long-range initiation shown off by that Bane Blink Dagger.
Yeah, at least Void gets 1 tower in return, getting the tier 1 bottom lane. Although it's not a worthy trade, especially since Turtle, they're pressuring high ground already. They were like, okay, Void is bottom lane, we can easily go for that tower. Now Petrico slowed down by the Viper Strike. Giftig activates his Eye of the Storm, is draining damage, and well, there's the Sunstrike to kill off the Venomancer who buys back. Didn't even get to pop his ultimate before. Oh, this is just a disaster at the moment. Oh, another Viper Strike.
Sorry about that.
Sky, so he's just completely zoning them out. That's Rex and Sky. Oh, the Freeman Chronosphere Ice Bear to follow up the Macropyre Rocksnack. He's completely blown up. A nice defensive Nightmare though. Will it be enough? No, it won't. And Giftig, he's trying to tank it up, Sky, so he got doomed. And now Smaller Garlic, aggressive leap, Starstorm. Nice Ice Path stopping Giftig. And actually he might fall down. The mech, it's not going to be there. Mystic Flare. And actually Viper goes down. Giftig as well. So it's a 4-for-2. As Smaller Garlic probably going to take a fall as well.
I thought he was going to get that last kill at that Star Storm, but Mech too strong. Still, that's an 8-2 Mirana, and that is ultimately a team wipe, but team wipe traded for Rax.
Plus Veno bought back as well for it, and he diebacked.
Yeah.
So
Still pretty worth it. That also just shows what I was talking about earlier with the high ground defense that Uebelst really has. They can do a whole lot. I mean, obviously, if Turtle focuses a little bit more on the buildings instead of chasing kills, maybe that has a little different role with it, but still. Mirana, she's now going to have a Molnir. Yep, and Vrosnak, he's going for a Yule Scepter. So Yule's Exort Invoker, something pretty old school that we don't really see much. Normally what it is if you find someone, they die, because you can find someone, Yules them up, and then time for a Sunstrike Meteor and a Deafening Blast to hit them, and when you have max Exort, it's almost everyone's full HP whenever that happens. So this just kind of shows that he feels really far ahead, and that he can go and hunt for kills instead of use the Sheep Stick for fights.
You mean the Yules can be used defensively to some extent, like throwing Faceless Void up in the air while he's in the Chrono trying to kill somebody, or maybe dodging the the Poison Nova rather, from the Venomancer or Mystic Flare from the Skywrath. But yeah, like you said, just the solo kill of potential.
Invoker, he got the Sunstrike on the Skywrath Mage.
Oh man.
I wasn't sure exactly what happened. Looks like Razor was fighting him a little bit, and they were able to securely kill the Sunstrike. Blink up from your Bane. He secures the Nightmare as well. He does not have a Fiend's Grip, but the arrow is going to be able to hit as well. That's a 5-second arrow, just the right clicks, and the Brain Sap going to be able to secure it, and the Razor going to be able to get that last hit there with the Plasma Field. So, the pickoffs working really well for Turtle right now. And Blink up, Nightmare onto your Dune. Is it going to be taken off by Gasha? No, it was taken off by the Plague Ward. Smolgy gets level death and doesn't care at all. Invoker, what does he have being brought to him? Just a Blink Dagger. Just a casual Blink Dagger, Force Staff, Yule Scepter, Ultimate Mobility, Exort Invoker. So he's feeling pretty good. Now there's a Blink up. There's another Nightmare onto Patrico. Is there going to be an arrow to follow up? No.
What? I mean, he went for the next level plays. He's like, okay, the Nightmare is going to get totaled off of him, and the Doom actually goes on to Skyzo, but can't they initiate the Moonlight Shadows? And with the Doom on cooldown now, Turtle probably, they're like, okay, Eye of the Storm is cooling off anyway. So this is the perfect opportunity to go high ground.
The Rax being sieged, early Rax advantage, they try to get some team fights up. And blinking in, Exort Invoker, Yules. Oh, but he time walks off with the whole combo. Gasha's coming in, but he's really not tanking at all, taking a lot of damage from Eye of the Storm as well. There's a Chronosphere on the 3. Sky's going to be able to get the Viper, but Vrosnik just sitting in the outside of the fights. He's able, well, Mirana goes down to the level death as well. Invoker, he might go down to the Venomous Gale. Yes, he's going to die to the Venomancer DOT because he doesn't have his BKB. And actually, that's going to be a team wipe.
Wow.
I was not expecting that.
Turtle,
Especially
they blew just too much.
Excellent Chronosphere, and the Venomancer did so much damage. He doesn't even have a Veil.
Yeah, I mean, they just blew way too much on the Faceless Void early on. I mean, it was so obvious that he's gonna time walk there anyway. Since there's no stuns to follow up, maybe they were hoping for an arrow to follow there, but I think it was on cooldown, or they just didn't coordinate it well enough. And actually, that's a huge throw of sorts. Yes, there's still one Rax ahead, and Uebelst, they have to commit one hero to defend it, but now they're gonna get Roche out of this, maybe tier 2 mid lane. And the graphs... Well,
3 of the heroes are getting towards their BKBs. Bane, Viper, and Razor are all going towards their BKBs, so... As soon as the BKBs are up, that's a completely different fight for all of them, just because all that magic damage isn't going to matter. So, it's not the end of the world. They do give up Roshan. Still, I don't think that's going to be the end of the world unless the Uebelst can eventually turn that into Rax. Faceless Void is getting pretty scary, but ultimately they're running 4 cores, and Bane, he hits really hard for a support. His physical damage is not to be neglected, not to mention the pure damage from Brain Sap. Being enfeebled, which goes to BKB, and the Fiend's Grip is just really good late game. So, not to mention, Miracle's just has been playing absolutely out of his mind this game too. So that also helps the late game advantage.
Oh yeah, it certainly does. And once it gets the BKB finished on the Bane, only the Doom can actually stop you from just channeling the Fiend's Grip quite easily. Although the Venomancer is level 16 with an Aghanim after ultimate, but now Eye of the Storm activated. They're going for tier 3 already. The Glyph is popped.
Yep, absolutely. They also are able to take out that ward because they have the Necronomicon there. But Gifted, He's going to go down. Oh, no, the defensive nightmare. Gonna be able to save him. Oh, never mind. He still goes down as the nightmare is taken off. Skyzo, he's going to get doomed. He's going to go down as well, but Patrico, he's gripped. Doesn't matter, though. He doomed already. Gasha, he's going for the Invoker. The Invoker taking so much damage, has to duels himself, but he can't blink out. He's taking so much DOT. He's going to take out under the Ghost Walk. That's another team wipe. No one went down for Uebelst. I think there was a buyback. No, there was no buyback.
Oh, I think we're seeing a comeback here.
I think we're seeing just really, really good fights. And, you know, Turtle's been playing this style where they just kind of wail on the racks. Like, was it them that was playing the Wraith King last game?
Yeah.
Yeah, they were just trying to do the same thing. They don't have a Wraith King this game. You can't do that the same way you do it with a Razor. If he dies, he just dies, and he's a squishy hero.
Well, they definitely need to finish up the BKBs before going for yet another try, but now tier 2 tower going down. Uebelst, do they really feel strong enough to actually pressure the high ground in return now?
I would. You kidding me? You haven't. The Aegis was popped, but you still have Chronosphere in 5 seconds. You have all of your ultimates up as well. Venomancer is going for a Uebelst, by the way, but now, oh, well, the smoke just instantly popped, but the Mystic Flare on Skyzo under the Chronosphere, he's going to go down right away, as well as the Bane! These Chronospheres doing absolute work, either Storm, as well as the Static Link, going to be draining almost all of Faceless Void's damage, as well as the Enfeeble. He's actually healing people for 6 damage right now, per hit, and they're going to be able to get away unscathed. Oh, never mind Gashas, he's going to get caught with the Yule's Extort combo, as well as the Brain Sap going to be able to finish him off. Jakiro pops an Invis-Rune on his retreat path. And high ground defense successful. And Void, he's picked up a Helm of Iron Will, so he's going to be going for that lifesteal. Oh, Courier gets killed.
Oh, it was a Mystic Staff.
As well. Smolagig. Can he hit an arrow? He uses the Moonlight Shadow. Can he hit an arrow? Not going to be spotted.
Well,
Sky
the Bane
almost
has the
walks back
blink.
into it.
Oh, never mind, it's not going to get in range.
And backtracks the Sunstrike because he has skill.
Oh, what a nasty guy, man. What a nasty guy. But
what a good backtrack. The Mystic Staff was doomed. He does have his Shiva's Guard, so that's down for 3 minutes, but I don't think there are going to be any fights for the next 2.5 minutes that are going to be super significant. But now Veil actually, so they actually pick up the Veil on the Skywrath Mage. I did not notice. I haven't looked at his inventory for a while. I thought that was just a casual Null Talisman. But they're going to pick that up on him, so that Jakiro is free to get something else, as well as the Venomancer is free to finish up his Aghanim Scepter. Which would kind of lead me to think that Venomancer probably goes for something... Like, what do you like on Venomancer post-Ag's Veil? I usually like Scotty.
Yeah, I mean, wouldn't be bad. Together with just slow from the poison, Venomous Scale, Poison Sting, getting the Eye of Scotty on top of that, as well as just tanking yourself up. I don't think it would be bad. I guess maybe a Sheep Stick might be on the agenda for him, but... I mean, Scotty wouldn't be bad. Sometimes, rarely, you see Orchids as well. Don't think it would do that much this game anyway, though. So
yeah, there's so many BKBs. If you go for a disable, you need to go for the hex that silences the items as well. Still, as we're looking at the gold graph, I mean, we do statistically it's not true, but it always feels like late game favors the
Holy crap!
Being able to secure Roche.
Look at the XP graph.
Look at the gold graph too. Back down to 0.
But
just
XP 20k swing.
Sieging fights, you can't siege with a Razor the same way you siege with a Wraith King, man.
I mean, at least killing the Courier delayed the Shivas of the Doom, and actually the Doombringer, he got like a 25-minute mech, but from that point onwards, since they won a couple of fights, he's not looking that bad. Has his Shivas finished, has another 1.7k on top of that.
Yeah, and he stopped doing, like, the smartest thing as well is he stopped dooming the Razor and he started dooming the Viper instead, which I think is great for him. Viper's also building into his own BKB, which isn't going to help him against the Doom, but Bane, very smartly, instead of finishing his BKB, picks up a gem, realizes that they need to start seizing this map control if they want to start getting this game back in control.
Oh wow, this... I mean...
This game's stressful, man. Like,
if it actually comes like to the super late stages of the game, who actually has the upper hand? Because of course Chronosphere is just a ridiculously strong ability.
I think certainly Uebelst has the upper hand here. Doom and Chronosphere are two of the best late game abilities. They both go through magic immunity, and they essentially just mute your inventory and your skills. And the most important thing of it is muting your inventory. You look at this net worth. All right, Invoker has 1,800 net worth. So what if he gets doomed or chronoed and killed in the chrono? How much does that net worth matter? It doesn't, unless he has buyback, of course. But still, trading your ultimate for a buyback as well, it's always worth it, just with those two abilities in particular. So I think I certainly give Uebelst the advantage here late game, which is why with those two abilities they were able to go for a non-traditional core such as a Venomancer. So.
Oh man, at the moment it feels like Roxanne maybe should have invested into a BKB instead of a Blink Dagger on the Invoker or something.
I mean, Blink is great, but I think just getting either, like the Eul's Scepter, I think has gotten him nothing. That's all I'm going to say. Getting Eul's on an Exort Invoker as well just shows a lot of confidence. It's kind of like the same as getting a Dagon on a Puck, because unless you're ahead and you're able to get pickoffs, it's not going to do much for you. That another item of a comparable cost will. Such as, getting towards the BKB or getting towards that sacrifice.
Oh man, and now there's a BKB finished on the Faceless Void as well, just making it even harder for Turtle to take a proper fight. I mean, Turtle's own item progression, he has just completely stopped from the 2 times they tried to go high ground and got wiped.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think it's also really smart of the Void to pick up the Helm of the Dominator this game too. Because he's just doing so much damage that he's going to lifesteal almost all of it back just if he gets one crit. It's kind of the same as getting a Helm of the Dominator on the Shadow Fiend. And he's hitting so hard, and the Void played by Sky the last game was the reason they stayed in it for so long, and I think just making some smarter item choices, getting the BKB even later after the data list so it's not such a low duration. We can tell that adjustment was really coming into this game, and, well, wait, what happened? What did he do?
I have no idea. I mean, his ultimate isn't on cooldown. No ultimates are on cooldown, got no clue.
I almost wanted to say something, but I didn't know if that was going to be kosher.
Probably not.
Probably not. Here, I'll type it to you.
Oh. Yeah, it's...
Oh, man.
It is.
I remember one game I was casting, I don't remember who it was at all, but a Tide Hunter accidentally Ravaged instead of Blinked. And he might be like me, for instance, my Blink key is always T, because there's so many Blink ultimates, but occasionally if you miss it, you just accidentally use your ultimate. And one of the players on his team pinged him out a lot, and then in all chat goes, "Casters, did you see that?" Where we were invited to talk about that, but still. Normally it is not kosher for casters to interrupt the players while they are concentrating in the battle arena. So Invoker now goes ahead and he sells his Hand of Midas, finishes up the BKB. Really smart pickup. Even though he's only level 18, still getting that BKB means he's going to be able to live in the fights. He's really only dying to the magic damage.
Yeah, at the moment Uebelst, they're just pushing out the lanes, preparing for the next Roche, which actually respawn.
This is about to be 5 BKBs. Viper's going to be close to his. Bane is nowhere close to his, but whatever. But a 5 BKB team, now that's what Turtle needed to do earlier, to be frank about it.
Yeah,
I think they realized
earlier.
they needed to, but they just kind of wanted to delay it as much as they possibly could. It's kind of like when you have to go BKB on Bounty Hunter, you're like, oh, come on, let me get one more thing first. The games are so boring when you have to go like drums into BKB and you don't really do a whole lot of damage. You're like, let me get a Deso. It's like, all right, well, let me get an Orchid now. It's like, well, can I get a Blink Dagger, please? And then you lose because you just never got your BKB. But so.
Oh, and Sky, he's doing Roshan solo at the moment. Liquid Fire is just coming out from the Chikiro now. Never mind, they're gonna go in. Pack Leader's Aura, extra damage.
Yeah, they can take this really easily. Classic Dire Side advantage. He sells his TP Scroll, can be able to pick up the Aegis, and this is cheese now as well. So we'll see who they give the cheese to. Probably, I think the Skywrath Mage would be good, but no, they go ahead and give it to the Doom.
Oh, but top lane, they get the Blink Nightmare onto Kasha as well, but oh, Fiend's Grip is there, Arrow will hit. So they actually have enough right click damage, well, with the Sunstrike helping out, they do. So, nice pick off, but he has buyback anyway.
He's also not the most important anymore now that all these BKBs are coming out, but still. Pot multi going to be used in the jungle. Doom is kind of off in his own some, and it looks like Skyrath Mage ED is going to be caught out, and the Meteor Deafening Blast is there, but Void immediately Chronosphere is Rosnak, and he's going to go down right away with the first. This ridiculous Doom is going to be going out on the BKB Mirana, so she's going to have to back off things. He's going to be going down as well, but Gasha throws off the Venomous Gale. He's going to Yules himself as well to get a little bit of time, and Skozu, he's going to BKB TP out. He wants out of this, and Giftig, he takes so much damage from that level death. He's got Eye of the Storm, but no one cares. Uebelst is doing it. Sky gets a triple kill. And this is absolutely absurd. In the meantime, Mirana dies to the Skyrath Mage as well. This is going to be another set of racks. And Uebelst, my god, man. They were so far behind. They were so far behind. And they are actually doing it. Look at the EXP graph.
That's exactly what happens if you just pressure high ground.
And the Void.
Wow. Thank God he doesn't have Chronos here, but the Cheese and the Aegis both are still there for Uebelst. I think this is going to a game number 3.
I wouldn't say that just yet, as the tier 2 towers aren't down in the other lanes. Meteor Instance is doing a lot of damage, but he backtracked almost all of it. Sunstrike, I was about to say Sky Strike. Gonna be on the Doom, and he's gonna go down. Gasha, he comes in, but the Tornado catches both of them. Where is the Deafening Blast? Oh, he doesn't have the Invoke cooldowns, but Plague Warriors are going to be used. Gifted, he's already popped out of the Storm of Sky. He just mans up on him. Ice Path is going to be there. It's going to be missed as well, but Chronosphere catches too. Sky is going to be able to kill Frostneck again. That's a beyond godlike streak for him if he's able to get this next one, but no, he's not. Just godlike. Just godlike. Now this Range Axe is going to go down. They can't get the other two because they don't have the tier 2 towers. Brain Sap going to be backtracked. That's frustrating for your Thane. But still, Boots of Travel for your Doom, and he just blinks up.
I mean, he's doing way too much damage. With the Daedal, it's just a few crits. I mean, what? It was like maybe 5 right clicks.
They know that there are no buybacks. No one that has buyback. Mirana can't deal with this. She arrows Sky. Nah, they popped the GG. This is going to a game 3, my friend.
Oh what man, Turtle, they just threw.
What a game.
What a game indeed, but I mean, we're going to a game number 3. Didn't think this would happen with the way Turtle had the mid game under control, but just going high ground a couple too many times without the BKBs being finished.
It wasn't even that, it was just the way that they meant to get high ground. They didn't really draft anyone that is kind of like your jumping initiator, such as your Bat Rider, Clockwork, Storm Spirit, Puck, anyone like that. And, you know, in the last game they just relied on having 2 lives on the Wraith King, but you don't do the same thing with a Razor, so even despite their hot start, Uebelst, they trolled out really well. They really relied on their Void, and Sky, he carried so hard. 12-3 and 15, 650 GPM, absolutely stellar performance. And Miracle, I mean, his KDA might not reflect it well, but he played incredibly well on that Bane, and still been very entertaining game. So we're going to be going on to a game 3.
Indeed we are, and it's just going to be a couple of minutes away probably at maximum. So don't go anywhere guys, as the game is coming up. And of course, if you enjoyed us, be sure to follow us on this channel as well as Heflatv 1 and Heflatv. And if you want to support the casters directly, you can either donate or just subscribe to our channel. We have a couple of cool emotes already, as well as more coming in the future. So worth a check at least. And of course, just wait for game number 3.
Alright, see you in just a bit, everyone.